Welcome to In Our Neighborhoods. On this episode, we speak with some of the chairs from Bull Hill, Edgewater, and Blue Heron neighborhoods about the events that they held safely last year and what they are planning for this year. So sit back and enjoy the conversation they had with our reporter, Georgia Lash.
Life in Sun City is a piece of cake. At the base, we have our home and our beautiful surroundings, and the filling are the lifestyle events and the amenities. But the icing on the top of the cake are the sweet social activities of our neighborhoods. Today, in our program, we meet with people who make this happen in our neighborhoods. With me is Susan Morris from Bull Hill. Susan, tell our listeners about Bull Hill.
Bull Hill Plantation is a neighborhood near the back gate, so we have easy access in and out of our neighborhood. It was built starting in 2006, and we have 250 households of varying ages, and it's, I feel, the best neighborhood in all of Sun City.
That's a good promotion. Now we're here today to talk about the social activities, and you're the social committee chairperson of your neighborhood. And you have a pretty interesting story I heard about how you got that responsibility. Tell us.
I moved into Bull Hill, and that was back in 2015, in July of 2015. In September, I decided I would go to the social committee meeting. And at that time, our present social director for Bull Hill was leaving. She was moving to another neighborhood in Sun City. So obviously they were looking for someone to step into her shoes. Well, there were no hands to be raised. So, thinking, I can do this, I raised my hand and said I would. So therefore I lived in Sun City for 3 months before I took over the social chair position. Part of my initiative to step into that position was that I had been a co-chair in New Jersey at our condo association. So I had a little bit of background, and I brought that with me into our neighborhood. Well, I must tell you, we have a wonderful committee. We have over 20 members. We have about 14 to 15 that are truly active members that participate on a regular basis. We do probably 6 to 8 events a year, pre-COVID. This past year, even though things have been difficult, we have tried to bring some joy into our neighborhood. We did that through having a pre-COVID party in February, which was Island Time in Paradise, and we brought in a steel drum band, and that was a wonderful thing. We had that at Hidden Cypress. In April, during the COVID situation, we were trying to think of things that the neighborhood could do outside. My husband is a musician, and he brought his keyboard and his computer outside, and we had dancing in the streets. So we had probably 20 people spread out on Spring Beauty Drive, and we were dancing in the street. One of our neighbors videoed it, put it on Facebook, and it had over 4 million shares. So it went viral, as they say. We also did driveway bingo, which was a big hit. We had a lot of people that participated in that. And each week, one of the neighbors would bring the prize. Our first bingo, we gave away toilet paper, which was in a shortage at that point. So that was a fun way to start our driveway bingo. In October, when things were starting what appeared to get a little bit better, we did have an outdoor event at the pavilion, and that was basically just a Bull Hill get-together. So we had some people in the pavilion and some people outside on the lawn, so that we did create a great deal of social distancing. And we served ice cream, and my husband brought his DJ equipment along, and we did have music, and some people chose to dance. So we really have a wonderful community and a lot of participation, and I feel very blessed to be their social director.
Well, those are some really good ideas, which I'm planning to steal. But I really do have to ask you, what would you say is like the highlight event, not having to think about COVID? What's a really highlight event that you would say Bull Hill looks forward to all the time?
Well, we always go to the Savannah Bananas in June. We have enjoyed that immensely. We have a rather large group that goes. I get 65 tickets, and many times that's not enough, but that is, kind of the target that we work towards. We truly enjoy events where we can be active and dancing. All of our indoor events prior to COVID, we had music of some sort. Like our island theme in February, we had a steel drum band come in. We've had different DJs come in, live music, and we do have a reservation for Hidden Cypress in March, and we will see if we can put it together. But we're looking to do possibly a Western theme where we can do some line dancing, be socially distant, but still, enjoy being together, sharing our strong beliefs of friendship, and it's just a great group of people to work with.
I have a question for you, because as my neighborhood and your neighborhood, we're aging somewhat. Mm-hmm. Have you found that the social activity looks a little different each year?
I believe that it does in some regards, but I also believe that there are always new people coming into our neighborhood, and I try to encourage those that have just moved into the neighborhood to get involved. And in the last 12 months, I've actually had 3 new people that have joined our social committee. Even though we're really not meeting, we did have a meeting in October on my driveway, and we're going to do a Zoom meeting this month to try to at least strategize about what we believe we would like to do. We have thought about doing some karaoke outside, so that may be one of the first things that we'll try to do to bring people together, but safely, and hopefully, God willing, that we will be through this COVID situation and, retain our strength and our good health, and people want to be involved again. Because living here in Sun City, the reason we moved here was because we wanted to live life to the fullest. And I feel that we're trying our best to do that through our social committee.
Well, it seems like you have entered the bounds of creativity to bring your residents a lot of activities despite the challenges. I think New Jersey's loss is our gain with you being here in Sun City, and thank you for stepping up so quickly. I am sure your neighborhood appreciates that every day. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
With me is Chris McKim from the Edgewater neighborhood. Chris, tell us about Edgewater.
Edgewater is a very new neighborhood. It's only 4 years old. We have 52 roofs. We have, it's very small. We have a lot of single women there that are very active there. We have older people. We have a guy that's 90 years old, but he is probably as active as I am. We have a lot of activities going on in our neighborhood, and we just love our neighborhood because we're very close, because we're such a small neighborhood.
You have got to be one of the smallest neighborhoods in Sun City. That's exciting. Now, are you built out? There will be no more new homes added to Edgewater?
We're definitely built out. We were built out. We finished that when we moved here in 2017. We were basically all built out. We actually bought a house that was already built, but the people that own there only there 6 months.
Chris, you're not only from our newest neighborhood, you're also one of the newest social committee persons that we're talking with today.
I am. I started in January of 2020. I took over for one of the girls that was the social chair that was moving to Arizona. It's been a lot of fun. I've actually come up with a lot of new ideas, and they were helped by my committee, which is very active and full of ideas.
Now, because you are a smaller, newer neighborhood, does your committee take on some other responsibilities, perhaps greeting people or hosting the neighborhood meetings?
Yes, we have 8 people that are on our committee. We have somebody that will greet them that's in our neighborhood, the new members. We also have people in our neighborhood that will step up and they would recommend ideas for me to come in and to set up.
That's excellent. You know, it's a small group, but it sounds like you're run very, very organized. Now, you haven't had much time to, steer the helm there, but what would you say are some of the notable events in Edgewater?
We have what we call cocktails and concrete, and we meet in people's driveways once a month. Everybody brings their food. This is before the COVID, obviously. We would bring food, and they bring their drinks or whatever they want, and we just socialize. And we do have a 50-50, which entices people to come and try to, and it's usually somebody different every month that wins. We haven't been able to do it because of the COVID, but that's one of our main things. Another main thing is we always have a Halloween party, and people dress up, and we have it at the pavilion. We have a holiday party at Lakeside here. We have music and dancing. We have a bocce league once every season, and that's in our neighborhood. We also have a girls' putter, a women's putter. We go over to the putting green once a week, and we putt. We also have a ladies' night out. We go out once a month to dinner with whoever wants to go. We do have a men's league for golf. We have a women's league for golf. We have, there's a lot of activities that we have.
Ruth, you might be new, but you've got a long list of the things that your neighborhood's accomplished in a very short period of time. That's awesome.
Well, we are a very active neighborhood. We like to keep busy. We have a lot of young people in our neighborhood, so we like to be able to keep busy. We did have luminaries at Christmas time. We do have, we had a hot cocoa. We met down at the cul-de-sac, and we just everybody wore their masks. We have a 4th of July party. We get together in somebody's backyard usually, and we watch the fireworks. We always do something every holiday.
Well, I just congratulate you for taking on the mantle for your neighborhood, and it sounds like you're already, ready to go. I hope 2021 is kind to all of us, and you'll really be able to take on those responsibilities and events.
Thank you very much.
I've got Ruth Gardner with me, and Ruth, you are representing one of the larger communities that we're talking about today. Tell us about Blue Heron.
Blue Heron Village was one of the 3 original neighborhoods, in 1995 that were first built. And so we are over 20 plus years old. We have 348 rooftops, and because we are so large, in late 2018, we coordinated and developed what's known as block captains. We have divided our large neighborhood into approximately 20 zones, and we have residents who have volunteered to be our ambassadors to see and visit with our newcomers. And of course, because of COVID, we have just limited that to a knock on the door, here's a packet, welcome to the neighborhood. We have had several newcomer wine and cheese events, which have been very successful, and we were fortunate enough to get one in January before everything shut down in March.
Now, not only are you one of the larger communities, I know your neighborhood, and you have one of the larger social calendars. You really keep your neighborhood busy, and you have such a diverse calendar. What are your strategies for planning?
We have approximately 10 to 12 members on our committee. We meet every month, and since April, we have been meeting via Zoom to basically change our social event calendar because of COVID. When we meet, we have several members who agree to be on the ad hoc committee to plan an event, which we already have on the calendar, and we have a planning document to allow them to know how to do everything from start to finish. And that helps our new members to feel comfortable enough to lead one of our events. And so, because of COVID, we were fortunate enough to have done our Wear Red party and dance in February, in which we did a PowerPoint about the history of Blue Heron. We raised money for the American Heart Association, had a wonderful time, and just squeezed in our spring business meeting 3 days before everything was shut down. And so we canceled all of our events and began doing golf cart parades, which many people have done. We started first in April just to bring people's spirits up, and we decorated the neighborhood with cheerful signs. And the other residents said, we want to be a part of this. And so in July, for the 4th of July, and for Labor Day, and for the first day of winter, we had golf cart parades in which we go around and the neighbors wave. And we've had a wonderful time doing that and decorating our golf carts. And I think the most important thing that we have done is we've increased our fundraising for Blue Heron. With the American Heart Association in February, we then also have done 2 successful food drives and stuffed the bus. And of course, we had many, many donations for the Wreaths Across America. And so we're very pleased with that. And so it's just been a matter of being very flexible. Most of our members are ladies who are used to leading, and most of us have only been in the neighborhood 4 years or less.
Now, what are you looking forward to in 2021? Should things, and yes, they will get back to normal.
We have already planned our events for the year. We're fortunate that our first event will be outside of the pavilion, which will be our spring business meeting. And we always like to do it later in the afternoon so people can bring their favorite beverages. And we also plan to have ice cream. We rescheduled our Cinco de Mayo event to Lake Somerset for May 5th to 4th. And so we're very excited that we can have 2 events that will be outside that we hopefully will be able to be attended by people who would like to be outside and still visit with their neighbors. We will see what happens with our luau in Cypress, since we're only allowed at this point to have 80 people at the event. And having such a large neighborhood, it is difficult to find things to do inside while limiting the number of people that you have for your events. I believe our most popular events are those, of course, that have food and drink involved. Our cul-de-sac parties have been evolving since 2017, and we started our first one with what was called Light Up the Night, and we divided into 5 groups since we were such a large neighborhood, and we were at different cul-de-sacs. It was so popular, we decided to try to merge it all together so everyone could see everyone else, and we do that on the cul-de-sac of Pinckney Drive, and we ferry the people back and forth for parking. We have done a tax relief party. Our Halloween party was very successful. And this year we're hoping in October to do an Oktoberfest. So that is probably one of our most popular events, is just being outside and visiting.
I was speaking to your neighborhood rep, and she was mentioning to me, because we talk about how active the neighborhood is, and she mentioned that you use somewhat of a SIG concept, the special interest groups for your neighborhood. Tell us about that.
Well, our special interest groups allow our residents to be together on a more consistent basis. We originally had a bocce ball team before I moved here in 2017, and then we do a lady putters group that meets every Tuesday except for the summer, and then we begin to evolve and try other concepts. We have Cleos, which is classy ladies eating out, who meet monthly, and we've begun that again. And we have a wonderful group of people who love to read. We have a book club, and the ladies meet monthly, we meet outside, everybody spreads apart, and so that is still continuing. Our 3 bunco groups, one of which is also a couples bunco, has not been meeting, and we're hoping that that will begin soon, in the fall perhaps. And we also have, does that leave? Our newest, most exciting one is our Day Trippers events. In May of 2019, we went to Hilton Head, and the Coastal Discovery Museum took us on a walk. And people were very excited about doing events outside of our Sun City complex. And so we coordinated several different activities, which included plays on Hilton Head. We took the bus to do the comedy club. We went to Beaufort, had a wonderful carriage ride in the fall, and a salty dog cruise. And this year we're again trying to do our day trip events. We would like to go to museums. We're going to reschedule plays again, and we actually have a very ambitious 2-day intra-coastal salty dog cruise that 50 plus people have signed up for, and so hopefully that will happen in May, and they will go from the from Salty Dog there in Sea Pines up to Charleston, spend the evening, and then come home the next day.
Ruth, I think you've enlightened us with so many good ideas. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for doing so much for your neighborhood.
Well, I very much appreciate giving the opportunity to talk about our neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. It's very active, and we look forward to many more fun events.
We enjoy getting those covered on Sun City TV. We covered the information about the Coastal Discovery Museum trip, so that was excellent. So keep giving us some good stories.
We will. Thank you.
Thanks to our social committee chairpersons for sharing information and ideas. Thanks to their efforts and the efforts of all of our social committees all throughout Sun City, life is truly sweet in our neighborhoods.
Thank you for watching this episode of ION. We want to know what is happening in your neighborhood. Are you having an outside event you would like us to cover? All you need to do is email us at sctvhh@gmail.com at least 2 weeks in advance of your event so we can give you the coverage you deserve. And stay tuned to SCTV for more episodes of In Our Neighborhoods.